Hey everyone, today I want to take a look at some of the cheesiest 80s movies that I could think of. Now let's be clear, this is a love letter because I love all these movies, this is not a hate letter. Although the acting was over the top, outrageous, and the effects were silly and probably don't hold up, these were amazing movies. And with that, let's go.
What? Oh no, it's a quake! Hey, I can't get up! Ah, what is going on here? Ah!
Casey, did you hear something?
I'm such a lucky girl in love.
Howard the Duck. Now you might be wondering, a talking duck from outer space? Really? And the answer is yes, really. This 1986 masterpiece brought us a feathered friend who was more interested in rock and roll than duck ponds. And George Lucas himself, the guy who gave us lightsabers and the Millennium Falcon, was behind this cinematic marvel while as a producer. Maybe he was just testing out his special effects skills on a smaller scale before unleashing the Ewoks upon the world.
Hello there.
Get out of the way!
Hey, look at the talking duck.
Bug off!
Lord, what is that?
You jackass, he's a ventriloquist. This guy here's doing the talking and this here's a dummy.
Better watch out, he's a master of quack food.
I'll whack him.
Going up! Come on, Beth, run! Oh, nuts! Going up!
Howard T. Duck is an anthropomorphic duck from another dimension who gets sucked through a portal and lands in Cleveland, Ohio. He encounters a struggling rock musician, Beverly Switzler, played by Leah Thompson, and together they become entangled in a battle against an evil alien force known as the Dark Overlord of the universe. The film features practical effects for Howard's appearance and animatronics for some of the otherworldly creatures, and the premise itself is inherently silly. A talking duck navigating human society is bound to be a bit absurd. And it's loaded with tons and tons of duck puns. And the hinted romantic subplot between Howard and Beverly is, unusual to say the least. Despite, or perhaps because of its flaws, Howard the Duck has garnered a dedicated following for those who grew up in the 1980s. It holds a special place in our hearts as a reminder of a time when movies were a bit more daring and unconventional. Initially, it was a critical and commercial failure, but it has also gained appreciation as a cult classic. Howard has even made brief cameo appearances in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Gross.
Which adds just a touch of humor to the superhero franchise.
Do you realize I could have been killed up there? What's this? Rock and roll!
Will you destroy this Earth?
Later. I like to play with things a while before annihilation.
And now next we blast off into the cosmos with Flash Gordon. This 1980 space opera is like a comic book come to life, filled with vibrant colors, outrageous costumes, and a soundtrack that will have you singing along at the top of your lungs. Ming the Merciless, the evil ruler of the planet Mongo, sets his sights on destroying Earth, and if you have been with our channel for some time, you may know I love this movie. I have a whole video dedicated to this piece of awesomeness. Flash Gordon, a star quarterback who was originally a polo player in the comics, and Dale Arden, a travel agent, find themselves caught up in Dr. Hans Sarkoff's rocket ship after he kidnaps them and launches them into outer space. The ship crash lands on Mongo. And did I mention this has one of the best theme songs ever made?
It's for every one of us. Stand for every one of us. It's time for the body and everybody.
Speaking of that soundtrack, let's take a moment to appreciate the musical genius of Queen. Their anthems perfectly capture the film's energy, making you feel like you're right there alongside Flash, battling Ming the Merciless and trying not to get distracted by all the spandex. Once Crash landed, Dale, Flash, and Hans, the trio must unite the warring factions of Mongo to fight against Ming's tyrannical rule and save their home planet. The film is renowned for its vibrant comic book-inspired visuals and the over-the-top production design. The cast of characters is a delight, from Flash's bravado, played by Sam J. Jones, to Ming's menacing presence and the flamboyant Prince Voltan. The cast of characters is a delight, with Sam J. Jones as Flash Gordon, Max von Sydow as Ming the Merciless, and of course Prince Voltan, played by Brian Blessed, and Timothy Dalton as Prince Baron. You would also have Melody Anderson as Dale Arden, and Ornella Muti as Princess Aura, and Topal as Hans Zarkov. Aside from having the future 007 in it and the rest of a great cast, the film embraces its campiness, making it an entertaining and nostalgic experience. This also involved George Lucas. Kind of. George Lucas originally wanted to make Flash Gordon, but was unable to secure the rights. This led him to create Star Wars instead. The film has also influenced such works as Thor Ragnarok and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And Sam J. Jones was of course in Ted. Interesting to note that when they were making the film, they didn't like the way Sam's voice sounded and had an unknown actor do voiceover for the entire movie. And of course, Prince Voltan, I still quote this scene all the time.
Hey, for what it's worth, Ming's got Dale, Zarkov, and Baron.
I see. My thanks to you.
Yeah? What for?
Well, for giving a dumb old bird a second chance.
You know, get down.
Now let's get down and boogie with Breakin. This 1984 dance movie brought breakdancing to the mainstream, showcasing incredible moves that had us all trying and failing to pop and lock in our living rooms. Breakdancing was insane in the 80s. It was a dance you had to do or at least know of. Breakin, also known as Breakdance in the UK, is a 1984 American dance movie that perfectly encapsulates the vibrant energy and cultural impact of breakdancing in the 80s. We saw Kelly, Special K, Bennett, played by Lucinda Dickey, who is a classically trained dancer, and she becomes fascinated by the world of breakdancing after witnessing a street performance. She then joins forces with two talented street dancers, Orlando Ozone Barco, played by Adolfo Quinones, and Tony Turbo Ainley, played by Michael Chambers. Together they navigate the challenges of pursuing their passion while facing criticism from both the established dance world and the street dance community. The film culminates in an electrifying dance-off where the trio showcases their skills and fights for recognition. The film was a surprise box office hit, exceeding expectations and becoming a cultural phenomenon. And it's hard not to smile when you watch Ozone and Turbo defy gravity with their head spins and windmills. This movie proved that dance is a universal language, whether you're trained in ballet or busting moves on the streets, and its success led to a sequel, Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo, released just 7 months later.
Play a little ball here.
First my clothes catch on fire.
And speaking of moves, who can't forget the high-flying antics of Teen Wolf, a basketball movie with a werewolf? Michael J. Fox brought his signature charm to this 1985 comedy about a teenager who discovers he's a werewolf. It's a classic tale of a teenage angst with a furry twist. Who hasn't wished they could tap into some hidden superpower to navigate the awkwardness of high school? And I only say this movie's a little bit cheesy because once he reveals himself as a wolf in the middle of the whole school, people are not shocked, dismayed. They are mildly surprised for about 10 seconds and then just embrace it and start cheering him on. That being said, it's just a lighthearted 80s teen comedy starring Michael J. Fox. He plays as a high school student who discovers he's a werewolf, which leads to unexpected popularity and basketball success. Obviously, it's humorous and feel-good with a focus on coming-of-age themes. Later, MTV would give us Teen Wolf in 2011, which was a supernatural drama, a darker and more dramatic take on the werewolf mythos. But give me the Michael J. Fox version any day, and yes, there was a Teen Wolf 2, starring Jason Bateman, and this time, it made him good at boxing. Whatever.
I don't howl. You don't see any fangs, do ya? It's not gonna happen. Do you love me?
The classic is still amazing.
Listen, no ID, no beer. Can't you get that through your thick skull?
Give me a keg of beer.
He doesn't understand that he's the one who has the power to stop it. He simply can't imagine that one little boy could be that important.
Is it really me? Maybe he doesn't know what he has to do! What do I have to do?
Now prepare to enter the world of Fantasia with the Neverending Story. This 1984 fantasy film reminds us of the power of imagination and the importance of believing in yourself. The iconic theme song for the Neverending Story was performed by Lamal.
Turn around, look at what you see.
And it reached the top 10 in several countries. And of course, it was on Stranger Things.
Make believe I'm everywhere, giving in the light. Written on the pages is the answer to a never-ending story.
But who could forget Falcor the Luck Dragon, the adorable Rockbiter, or the terrifying Gmork? This movie takes us on an emotional roller coaster, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. The Neverending Story is a beloved fantasy film that captured the hearts of audiences for generations. It tells the story of a young boy named Bastian who discovers a magical book that transports him into the world of Fantasia, a realm threatened by a mysterious force called the Nothing. Bastian, who's a kid who's bullied and lonely, finds solace in a mysterious book called The Neverending Story, and he reads about Atreo, a young warrior tasked with saving the childlike Empress and Fantasia from the Nothing. As Bastian becomes engrossed in the story, he realizes that the book is more than just words, and he's part of it, and his imagination is the key to saving Fantasia. The story explores themes of loss, friendship, courage, and the power of believing in yourself. And this scene...
Attack! Fight against the sadness, Artex! Artex, please. You're letting the sadness of the swamps get to you. Artex! Stupid horse! You gotta move or you'll die! Move, please! I won't give up! Don't quit! Artex!
was the cause of much sadness for a lot of kids in the 1980s. The film was a commercial success, particularly in Europe. It also spawned 2 sequels, though they didn't quite capture the magic of the original. The Neverending Story, however, continues to inspire artists, writers, and filmmakers with its imaginative world and enduring message about the importance of imagination. And practical effects are where it's at. Give me this any day over CG. For many that grew up in the 80s and 90s, this film holds a special place in our hearts, reminding us of the wonder and possibilities of childhood.
Hello?
Will you accept a collect call from Brenda?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Chris? Chris, it's Brenda.
Brenda?
Chris!
Brenda, what's wrong?
Oh, Chris, I'm in trouble.
Brenda, you're always in trouble.
No, I'm really in trouble. I did it.
You spiked your tab with Drano?
No, I ran away from home.
You what? Where are you?
I'm at the bus station downtown.
Brenda, look, just don't go anywhere.
I can't. I don't have any money. I spent it all on the cab here. Chris, I need help.
Now it's time for some babysitting chaos with Adventures in Babysitting. This 1987 comedy follows a babysitter and the kids in her care as they navigate a wild night in the big city. Chris Parker, played by Elizabeth Shue, is looking forward to a quiet night babysitting, but when her friend Brenda calls in a panic from downtown Chicago, Chris has no choice but to take the kids she's watching and go on a rescue mission.
Those are hot dogs, right?
Yeah. Want one?
Yeah, I'd love one.
That'll be $2.
A check.
Yeah, but it's a good check. See, Chris's mom wrote it to Chris because Chris bought her something. I can't remember what. Then I bought Chris some press-on nails. I gave Chris the difference, and she wrote the check over to me. So I'll write the check over to you. You keep the difference, and I'll take the hot dog. So you got a pen?
Get out of here.
Wait! I'm starving. You'd rather throw it away than give it to me.
I work on a cash-only basis.
But it's a perfectly good check.
No! I'll make it very clear. You slip me the cash, and I'll slip you the wiener.
But I don't have any cash.
Then I don't have a wiener!
And what follows is a series of misadventures involving car trouble, running with criminals, and encounters with blues musicians. Throughout the night, Chris and the kids learn a valuable lesson about friendship, responsibility, and facing fears. It definitely has an iconic 80s vibe. This movie perfectly captures the spirit of the 1980s with its music, fashion, and the overall energy. From navigating a dangerous gang territory to escaping a high-speed chase on the highway, the film is filled with hilarious and suspenseful moments.
They're gonna kill each other. They kill us doing it.
Chris is a very relatable protagonist, and the kids she babysits each have their own quirks and personalities. For many who grew up in the 80s and 90s, Adventures in Babysitting holds a special place in our hearts.
I got this call from Brenda. I went to pick her up. The tire had a blowout, and my mom's car got shot up.
And these guys started to chase us.
And we all got hijacked. We're cruising down the highway.
This big old Cadillac, and it's so hard!
Reminding us of a time when movies were a bit more innocent and fun. There was a Disney Channel remake that was released in 2016, but it definitely failed to capture the magic of the original. This movie is a non-stop thrill ride. It proves that even the most ordinary night can turn into an unforgettable adventure. And always remember...
Don't with the babysitter.
All right, baby, chill out. Shit.
Alright, let's gather around the campfire, for it's time for the Monster Squad. This is a 1987 horror comedy, and it's a love letter to classic monsters and the kids who adore them. You got Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, not Michael J. Fox, but they're all here, ready to wreak havoc. But fear not, because of a group of brave kids armed with monster knowledge and a whole lot of heart are ready to fight back. The Monster Squad is an American comedy horror film that has become a beloved cult classic. And these horror comedies, these were the thing back in the 80s. I mean, the movie House, and even House 2 and its sequels were great. Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, all those, fantastic. Even Lost Boys and Fright Night definitely have some comedy elements to them. But this one takes a group of monster-obsessed kids and discover that Dracula and his crew, Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Wolfman and Gillman are on their way to take over the world. Well, I should say Frankenstein's monster, not Frankenstein, not the doctor. Anyway, with the help of a mysterious diary and the knowledge of monster lore, these kids become humanity's last hope, standing between the monsters and total domination. The film follows the kids' exciting and often hilarious adventures as they face their fears and work to defeat the forces of evil. It perfectly captures the feeling of being a kid obsessed with monsters and adventure, while also delivering genuine scares and heartwarming moments. And yes, it featured all the classic Universal monsters reimagined for a new generation, making them both terrifying and fun. The film is filled with witty one-liners and quotable moments that have resonated with audiences for years. The Monster Squad kids, despite their young age, embody bravery, resourcefulness in the face of overwhelming odds. And for this movie, just remember,
Kick him in the nose! Kick him in the nose! He doesn't have nose! Do it! Do it! Wolfman's got nards!
whether you're a horror fan, an 80s kid, or simply looking for fun and adventure, the Monster Squad is a delightful, cheesy experience that continues to entertain and inspire audiences of all ages. They may not be perfect, but they're perfectly 80s.
Sean, no!
Oh, go for it.
Sean, are you crazy? That's a Walking Dead guy. Sean, please don't die.
Are you dead?
Dad?
Does Mom know about him? No, only us.
Hey guys, get over here, he's great!
No longer stand between me and my destiny.
And now let's take a journey to the mystical land of Eternia with Masters of the Universe. Now, I don't love this movie. I had really high hopes for this film, and then I saw Canon Films was making it, and if you don't know Canon Films, think Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, think Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone, and just movies like that. So they kind of messed this one up. I think the big reason I didn't love it is because it mostly takes place on Earth. I wanted to see the magical land of Eternia. That being said, as a kid, seeing He-Man come to life was cool, and Dolph Lundgren was a good He-Man for sure. This 1987 film brought our favorite action figures to life, putting He-Man against the evil Skeletor, played by Frank Langella, who was also amazing, in a battle for the fate of the universe. And Frank Langella didn't originally want to take the role, but he was convinced after his son, a fan of the cartoon, urged him to do it. Sure, the special effects might be a little dated, but the sheer epicness of the story and Frank Langella's deliciously evil Skeletor made it a must-watch for any 80s kid.
The
powers of evil control Castle Grayskull.
The evil Skeletor seizes control of Castle Grayskull and acquires the Cosmic Key, a powerful device that could grant him control of the universe. He-Man, along with Man-at-Arms and Teela, escape to Earth with the help of the inventor, Gwildor, played by Billy Barty, and his second Cosmic Key. They encounter two teenagers, Julie, played by Courtney Cox before she became Monica, and Kevin, played by Robert Duncan McNeil, who become entangled in the battle against Skeletor's forces. And the final battle takes place on Earth, where He-Man must use his strength and courage to defeat Skeletor and save both Eternia and Earth. The film does try to do some amazing things with the visuals and sometimes succeeds. Its action sequences are pretty cool, and it captures the spirit of the animated series, even if Canon Films was known for cutting corners and cost on most of their films. It was great for fans of the original cartoon and toy line. The film offers a live-action adaptation with iconic characters and settings. The film embraces its campy nature, making it enjoyable and nostalgic for anyone who wants to take a look. Now, there have been multiple attempts to reboot the franchise, with a new live-action film currently in development, but overall, the Masters of the Universe movie is an entertaining 80s adventure film that, despite its flaws, has captivated the hearts of many. But I always wondered, why didn't they bring back Orko?
Oh, this place is a mess. When's the last time you saw the floor in here?
Where I come from, we never had to clean our rooms.
Well, you do here.
So they may not be perfect, but they're perfectly 80s, and that's what makes them so special. Next time you're feeling nostalgic, pop in one of these classics, turn up the volume, and let the good times roll. Until next time, bye friends.
Oh, yeah.